Hi, it's Carrie from Garden Rudiments. I'm out in the greenhouse today and we're going to be talking about succulent care. I have all of my succulents out in the greenhouse. It's the perfect place for me to store them now, for them to grow, not just be stored. Now, we've had 90% humidity where we've had continuous rain off and on for the last 2 weeks. So we've had a lot of flooding. We've had a lot of flooding. And today we have very high winds, so you're going to hear those winds. I don't have any fans going. I have the window down and I have 2 shutters open. I actually like it. It's just so nice to be out here, for it to be warm. It's about 80 degrees in the greenhouse. It's about 60 degrees outside, so we've got a really pretty day, and with this wind, things will dry out fast. So we're just going to kind of vlog today on taking care of succulents. In your climate, in your environment where you store your succulents, it's going to be very different taking care of your plants than it is for me to take care of mine. Some of these are getting direct sun. They're getting the heat. When the greenhouse gets warm on a sunny day, I'm letting them dry out a really lot, just because of the high humidity we've been having. So I'm not necessarily going to water every plant today, but I'm going to kind of check on each one to make sure that they're healthy, that they're not getting root rot from all the rain. And I probably need to turn some. You know, they will get to where they lean towards the light and get a little leggy if they're kind of in the shade of a post or something like that. So you can just kind of come along and watch and see what I do when I'm taking care of my succulents. And remember, I'm not an expert. This is what I do in my environment to take care of mine. So I'll help you with anything I can, but just remember, I'm doing what I need to do in my environment. You need to do what you do in your environment. And there's a middle ground in there somewhere that works for most of us. So thank you for watching. So when I'm out working with my succulents, I kind of look at everything and I check to see how dry things are. And these are just from some leaves. I took all of the leaves that had already produced babies, and I just took them out and went ahead and planted them. And I've left these, and there's some of these that have started to put on some babies. And I've got some still here in this little terracotta tray, and I just continue to water them and kind of watch them. All of these do need watering. Now, I want to show you this. This is a succulent that my sister-in-law gave me, and you can see it's losing one leaf here. This came in a flower arrangement that I got when I had surgery. So I have just stuck it down in here like this. And that's how I've been watering it. I just haven't taken the time to do anything else with it. I'm not going to water my air plants today. I know they're okay. But I try to pick up each plant and just kind of look at it. Now, this was one that was a cutting, an unrooted cutting. And I'm going to let the water run through, let them drip on the geraniums. But it's dry all around the edges, but it's very healthy there in the center, and I'm just going to leave it and just water it. And then I have a few other plants thrown in here that need extra water. They're not succulents. And it's some that a friend gave me. I have a lot of plants that need to be repotted. There's too many plants in this pot. And you can see they've all grown well. These were all from leaf cuttings. And all of these little pots always dry out really fast. And I will water, let the water run through, and then water again, because that little root ball just kind of gets hard and dry. Because it needs to be in a larger pot and in better soil. So you can see how this one's got a really great top, but it had gotten leggy. And then after I moved it out in here, it got a lot better. And then you can see some here. This is an Echeveria Lilac Mist. This is a beautiful Echeveria. Very proud of that one. And it's doing really well out here. And I've got quite a bit of sedum. And I can't remember what this is called, but I took a bunch of cuttings and repotted this where it had gotten really long and leggy, and it has really grown now and put on a lot of new leaves. And then I have all of my new paddle plants, the pups that I repotted and took away from Mama. So I've got 5 of them here in their pots. And we just go along and we water. And then this large container here, I can see it's got a little droop going on, so it does really need some watering. I'm glad to see that this high humidity that we've had has not bothered them in the least. And that's what I found last year when I actually had all of these plants outside. We had gotten like 5 inches of rain in April, or maybe it was May, after I had put these outside in the fountain. And as I go, I just kind of move things around and look at them and see what they're doing, see how their shape is. And these big pots with these grandifloras, and they're huge blooms. See how long the arms are? There's 3 long arms in those pots of their blooms. I just can't get over the beautiful blooms that they've had. And I wasn't expecting them to bloom. And then if you remember the watch chain, so this is the one that I cut off. And you can see it has put on some new growth, but this was already dead, the other growth. And then this is what I had cut off, and you can see how pretty and green. It's really doing good, and it's got, you can see the new growth on it. Get it in the shade there. Lots of bright green where the new growth is popping up on it. And then I have one more pot of it. So I'll let that water soak in, and then I add a little bit more after it's wet so that I can make sure the root ball is really saturated. And you can see it's actually put on some air roots. It was needing watering. It was trying to get some water. And then as I go, I just pull out these little pots. And that's one of the cuttings that I had gotten probably from Mountain Crest Gardens. And it's doing good. The leaves look great. The center's great on it. The way I always kind of check the health is, how is the center doing? Is it staying compact? Are the leaves browning? Then here I've got banana plant in here, and it is just really getting long. Let me show you how it looks. See how long this banana plant has gotten? String of bananas. And then my string of pearls here is also just doing awesome. I'm gonna call it her hair. He or she's really put on a lot of new growth, and she's getting fuller on top, so the mound is really putting out. I'm very pleased with it. And here you can see my crested cactus. And then we're getting into a lot more of the smaller containers. Some crassulas, bunch of echeverias, and you can see how the leaves are kind of drooping on this one. It needs some water, especially in this little plastic container. And I can tell the soil has pulled away from the container where it was so dry. I don't like that until it's real compacted. So now we're getting to all our little small containers, and these, a lot of them I have put crushed granite on, so they've got a little bit of something to help hold some of that moisture in there, but it's very hard to get that root ball to absorb the water when they get this dry. So they actually do better if you could set these, let's do that. Let's set these in a saucer for a little bit. That's what some of them need, just to fill up a saucer and let them pull up that water. That's the best way to get that root ball saturated. And I've got so many that are blooming. Look at that precious little pink bloom on there. Isn't that pretty? I don't know what this is. It's an echeveria. I think that's one of the Mountain Crest Garden ones from the Succulent Club. And then let that water run all the way through there, and then water again. And then don't water again for a long time. There's another one with the precious bloom. All of these are blooming. These are my aeoniums, emerald ice. They're still doing great. They seem to be liking that sunshine they're getting today. And I've got my little chocolate tomentosa. And then these are my little blue shells. You see how pretty they are? I don't put much water in here. It does run out. It comes, I don't know if you can see that, it comes out the little edge there. Now my poinsettias are still doing wonderfully. Still got their red bracts. I can't get over how well they've done. I've never had a poinsettia that's lived after Christmas. Usually they just die. But these have done really good. Now if you look up overhead, I've got a big old basket of string of pearls. And I'm just going to throw some water on top here. That top's getting plenty of sun, and I can see a lot of new growth on it, a lot of new little tiny baby pearls on there. So pleased with this plant. That's all the watering I'm going to do today. I thank you for watching, and tomorrow maybe we'll get the second shelf done. But for now, I think we're going to go with this. The rest of them are fine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time on Garden Rudiments.